In order to get telemetry recorder, you need to go to abyssal.space web page, hit telemetry recorder, and in releases you're gonna find the executable abyss blackbox.exe. Download it, place it in specially created folder, and create a shortcut on your desktop or in your toolbar, which you're gonna execute later. Don't execute it yet, as we need to set up Eve client properly so that abyssal recorder can actually record it in the format and capture the data what we need. In general settings, you want to go to font size and choose medium. It's the default option, but make sure it's medium. You want to remove transparency from your windows, and you want to select the dark matter theme, which is black and creates a lot of contrast between the background of the window and text. For overview settings, you go to sandwich menu and overview settings. In column, because we're recording type and not names, to distinguish the different types of drifter cruisers, we actually gonna click on type and drag it above the name. So we reorder the way how the columns are displayed on our overview, because we will need a lot of space for type field. Then we go back to tab presets, go to types and search for abyss. We should add drone entities and we should add abyssal trace. This is a must, because that's how we track when you enter abyss and how when you return from abyss. Then you go to the states on tab presets, scroll down and filter out already viewed wrecks, and wreck is empty is filtered out. Of course, in the types you make sure that you have wrecks on overviews. This way, when you kill the loot can, it will create a wreck and we will see it, and as soon as you loot it, it will disappear from overview. That's how we track how much you actually looted in every room. Now let's set up the recorder. Let's launch it. It contains a main three areas. This is the capture region, that is which Eve client you are capturing. If you have multiple clients open, it will list all the clients which are now signed in. Then there is a region where we're capturing, that is X coordinate and Y coordinate, and this is the height of the captured region. This should point to the logs, log directory of your combat logs. From there, application finds which characters are currently have logs, and you basically select which characters are participating in this run. So for cruiser-sized abyss, you select just one. For frigates, you can select one or more. But my suggestion is just add all characters which are multi-boxing this abyss. Then make sure that capture region is capturing only what is below the type. So if I enter in Y coordinate 0 and remove this filtering, I will see what I'm capturing from the top of the window, right? But I need to capture just below this header, that is contents of type column only and nothing else. That's why you basically increase this until you reach the place where it's only the contents of the type column is seen. So in this case, it's 205 in my case. Now you also see that we are capturing not only type, but we are capturing the perimeter star, which is a name column. That's why we go back to the Eve client and make sure we expand enough the type column so that it disappears from the captured zone. It should look like empty like this. So if we go and add for example, Stargate or overview, we see what the first item is here, Caldari border Stargate, and here is the same Stargate Caldari border. If we enable filter now, it's gonna show like clear, black on white without any lines or headers or anything else, just the contents of the overview. Make sure that your overview is big enough so that if you're doing high tier abyss and there is those wormers or any other rats which spawn a lot of entities on your overview, but you would capture at least most of them. And most of them, I mean like all normal rats. Those wormers are ignored basically because they're just drones. For this I basically use triangle sorting up. This makes sure that Villa Swarmers drone's gonna appear at the bottom, so even if we cut at some point, it's gonna be Villa Swarmers, which we don't care about. And that's it. Now finally we can start recording the abyss, and for that we need to perform a start of the recording. So I'm gonna click start recording here, and you will see the notification on your Windows, which you don't see in this recording, but it awaits the initial loot recording. So you open your loot, you select everything with Ctrl A, do Ctrl C, and this captures your initial loot before the run. Now you activate the abyss filament. For that I'm gonna disable the recorder because we don't need for now to capture that screen, and we can activate the abyss. You see what abyssal trace appears in your overview. It's good. Now while we are warping to abyss, we can select the loot again and click Ctrl C again to capture the loot after we activate it. This way we know what we are used cataclysmic exotic filament. Okay, first spawn already, awesome. Okay, let's start. So first we're gonna kill the starving Damavik. In this case, we should enable the Gardener's module. We're gonna stay away from tangling Kikimoras and Kikimoras in general. And now we want to kill the tangling and ghosting Kikimoras. Okay, there. My drones, when receiving damage, I'm gonna recall those. And launch again to drop the aggro from the drones. Gonna launch a new set. We're gonna start shooting with missiles. Okay, we are closing on killing this or making this remaining spawn useless or not that harmful. I'm just gonna recall the drones again and launch the new pack. We can start approaching the bioadaptive cache As you can see on my overview, I have pretty much everything. That is all the automatas or tracking pylons. I have all the cache loots. I have wrecks on my overview, so as soon as I kill this wreck, for example, I will see the wreck of it. We can allow drones to finish with the spawn and just let's kill, so you can see what now the wreck appeared. So if I go and open the loot, that wreck should disappear now from my overview as soon as I open that loot can. We loot everything. And now, because I'm not gonna go for this GAN, I can actually go for the gate. I can start reloading, tune drones, and because there will be no loot in this room, additional loot, I just again copy everything with selecting everything and clicking Ctrl C. Now I recorded the loot after this room, basically. Let's go to the following. Okay, this is quite an easy room. That's why you need to create a overview like big enough so what spawns like this fit. We need to go to Deviant Automata Suppressor because that's gonna be very easy room. If we're gonna do this, I can launch my action drones and let's kill this snare caster. I always split drones in this because one drone pretty much one-shots the smaller drones. And as soon as we enter this area of short-range deviant suppressor, is gonna do enough damage to kill those small drones, basically, without using my drones. But action drones is good enough. They can stay even near short ranged for a while. But in general, after I kill some and my tank is holding the damage, I basically just request the drones to come back to me. I'll trigger the reloading and just sit and watch everything die. Okay, let's move to the main can. I'm not gonna bother for recording this video to actually go for extra cans. I'm just gonna go grab the main loot and enter the gate. Because what I want to show you is how to properly finish recording of the abyssal run. And again, I'm gonna stack everything, gonna select all, I'm gonna click Ctrl C. That way I just recorded new loot update. And let's go to the last room. Nice. Again, same spawn like I just ordered it. Let's go directly for this short range deviant automata suppressor. We have a lot of additional cans, but we just don't care about them. We go onto orbit at like 1 kilometer and let everything die. In the beginning, I tend to actually lock something up and launch drones and start killing a little bit of them, because I can't like hold for very long the whole spawn damage, even though it starts dying in this case because we had short range, another short range, and they received a lot of damage already. But this is spark lens, which doing EM damage against shield. It's doing a lot of damage, so let's use the drones to kill at least a few of those until we are stable with shield boosting, so I don't need to use hard shell or something else to maintain or even overheat my hardeners. And we are actually good, so I'm just gonna recode the drones back and allow the suppressor to just finish everything. Nice. And that's it. Let's go for the can. For the loot. So if you look at the recorder, you see what it's capturing, what we're actually doing. I'm gonna actually leave this recorder just to see, for you to see how the overview changes on how it sees what's changing in overview. Let's go to origin. Again, very important, and this is very important in the last room before you actually leave, or just right after you leave. Grab all the, select all the loot and capture it. Do Ctrl C. That way you just recorded final state of your loot after the abyssal run. So now important part is not to stop recording until we actually go back to space and we see here abyssal trace on our capture engine. As soon as you see this, you can stop recording. And this is important just because we track when you enter abyss, abyssal trace appears, and when you exit abyss successfully, abyssal trace appears again on your overview. And if you die in abyss, you most likely end up in cloning station and there will be no abyssal trace. That's how we identify, did you do it successfully or did you die it? And this basically concludes the recording procedure. In order to upload your recording, you go to abyssal.space website, log in with your Eve account, and then upload button will appear at the bottom of your screen. You just click it, and you can drag and drop here up to 10 files which you want to upload, or you can click it and pick one of the recordings. This is one which you saw previously, recorded in tier 6. We grab it, we click upload, and you can see what the message says, what it's uploaded for processing. And in few seconds you can go to my runs and you can see the recording of the run we just did. As you can see, it detects the profit, what what we consumed, how much of the cans we looted. We looted only main cans, so it says we looted only 3 out of 9 total containers spawned. We have timings for each room. You have spawns for each room. You can use this switch to show only NPCs which were spawned in that room. This is the graph. As you can see, we are not doing a lot of damage in the second room and the third room, just because we gave that opportunity for the automatas to kill the stuff for us. This is the top counters, total damage done, total damage taken, the biggest hit what we did, and the biggest hit what we took. And this is the consumed. So we consumed 1 exotic filament, and we consumed 184 missiles for this, which estimated price is 22 million loss. And we looted the stuff, which is 41, almost 42 million. So our full run took almost 13 minutes. As you can see, this page is in early preview. There's basics is already there, but a lot of additional data will come in from heuristics engine, which we use to analyze your GIFs, which you upload basically by recording Abyss. What type of spawns we can find in each room, how much each spawn takes on average for different ships. What is dangerous spawns, which is based on time, based on damage, what they do to you, how much of newts they do to you, and all that stuff. So a lot of more features are coming in. Additionally, I want to implement some overlays for streamers, so they can use the recorder to actually display some overlays on their streams of how much actually you're looting in every room or in run total, and additional data. So this is not just a regular abyssal tracker which tracks your loot and how much of runs you did, but uploading your overview, animated overview, and uploading your combat logs and recording of the loot after each, for example, can looted, allows a lot of additional data to be just heuristically extracted from that run. Additionally, I think in the future we can have some sort of performance rating based on all this data, and have some competitions on how effectively you can run abyssal.space sites. So thank you for your attention, and please record and upload your recordings, because that's additional data which we can use and analyze later on. Keep in mind that all those recordings, even if we don't have now that analytic on the spawns at this given moment, that data is already in those files. All we need to do is just upgrade the heuristics which extracts that data. So recording whatever you can, even tier 0, tier 1s, different weathers, will actually help this project. Thank you for your attention, and fly dangerous.